But seeing as we were talking about different units and stuff, I want to get your guys take on your favorite off-meta unit, like one unit that everyone like can look at, and if they have it, or maybe they all have it, they can build it and test it out and get some use out of it. We'll start with you, Platypus.
Okay, I mean, I'm actually going to subvert expectations here, I think, and not talk about Outlaw Archer, which is pretty much, it's like in my top 3 favorite units in the whole game. Absolute versatile powerhouse. But one unit that I swear when you go into the epics, I've never heard anyone talk about at all. I've heard Lightning, I've heard, Abyss, I've heard Lash, but Nightingale is like straight up the best of the best. Once you get to 35, if you're not 35 yet, Nightingale does kind of blow. But quick highlight here, what she actually does. She has a Molotov cocktail bomb. It works exactly the same as Barrel's firewall, but it's a 3x3 square instead of a line. So it's actually better.
I don't have it to show. I don't have it.
Better than Barrel's firewall in specific situations, because you could throw it in front of them and they'll walk through it to get to you. So it's actually easier to proc multiple times on a single character. It only costs 1 energy. The only reason it's not strictly better, it does 10% damage. Then it creates a 3x3 square of Scorch while also scorching them. And it has a 3-turn cooldown. That's the big drawback of it. But it's on Nightingale. If you have a dying character, she gets all of her cooldowns twice as fast. She gets a -2, so she can use it every other turn. So constantly keep it up. And that's not even her best ability, in my opinion. Her other best ability, she has Tranquilizer, which is an adjacent square, instant speed, put a target to sleep. So you can move up to someone with 2 energy, put someone to sleep for 2 turns, throw your Molotov at a different group, and now you've CC'd a guy. You've done a % damage to a bunch of other characters, and that's only 2 of her abilities. Those are the ones I use the most. But she's also got Weapon Corrosion, 30% damage, attack down 2, magic attack down 2, at a range of 3. She's a beast. And if there's a dying unit, she gets +2 movement and lowers her cooldowns. She's ridiculously strong, and I haven't heard anyone talk about her like at all.
No, I didn't realize she had sleep. Like I just missed that.
Dude, I'm gonna have to do some summons to get her now.
Yeah, you gotta go for an epic unit.
This is actually killing me.
I still don't have Blade. Yeah.
Okay, and the problem is, and this is the other problem, none of even the Billy databases have anything but legendary characters on them.
Yep.
Like there's no filled out database for any of these characters. So you literally have to pull them at the moment to go ahead and actually look at their skills. But that is a cracked kit. How about you, RJ? What's your pick?
Okay, so mine, I actually am going to go with a legendary unit. It's another person that I hear no one ever talk about, but I really like Tidon, the Knight faction tank unit. They're like or what do we call it? Like very light blonde hair earlier. The very light blonde hair, white beard guy. And his whole thing is he just sets up zones. Like after every turn, he sets up a little like 3x1 zone in front of him, and he AoE attacks anything that walks into that. He hits pretty hard, and then he can set up bigger zones.
Actually, you can probably share your screen if you want to as well, and you can show it. Show the character.
Ooh, okay, I'll try.
You're a genius.
Yeah, there should be a tab down the bottom that says share screen, and then you can pick the window and just pick your game.
The window. Okay, here we go. I shared it.
Wait, let me put it on.
Hey, there we go. Okay, so
look at this.
All right. So his trait creates this area in front of him, right? And so anybody that walks in that area, 60% AoE damage, and it procs every time. Like it's not like a 1 proc and then it's done. So if somebody walks into it and procs it, they take the damage. Then their friend walks into it, procs it, he takes the damage again, and the new guy takes the damage. And he does insane DPS. The AI is awful at this guy. Awful, because the AI has no idea. They'll just face him in the off a cliff and he'll AoE his zone off the cliff. And then you get this, the Shield of Sanction, which is another alert ability, and it does 100% damage and stuns somebody who walks in there. So you could just set this up on like a choke or to protect your backline, and I just think it's insane. His problem is the AI sucks with them, which is a problem. And it's everything he has is like really, he's kind of energy intensive, I've found. Like this costs 3, which is a lot.
But if you don't have any regeneration in your kit, yeah.
Well, like energy regeneration is hard to get in this game. It's hard.
Yeah, it's Barrel and Candlelight. Those are the 2 that are really going to be good for that.
Yeah. Now, Platypus, did you want to share yours and we can take a look at your character? Because I want to check this kit out now.
All right, let me go here. Share screen, share. Let me find the game.
Hey, there we go. Got it.
There we go. All right. So we were looking at, remind me, Nightingale. So just to take a look at her kit, her trait is actually, it seems hard to get off, but when you're on a high level tower, it's really not. AoE damage decreased by 20%. That's kind of whatever. But if there's another ally within 6 tiles and they're dying, she gets a huge speed boost. It goes up to, I think, 200 or 300 at 5-star, 2 movement tiles, and all of her cooldowns get decreased by a turn. And when you get up to, I think, 5-star, it's down by 2 turns. So she could actually use her Molotov cocktail every single turn, just like Barrel's Firewall, with even less energy and more movement and more speed. Now, getting an ally dying sounds kind of hard, but there are multiple units such as KA Soldier, the guy with the shield. He has an ability where if he takes lethal damage, he heals to 5% HP and he just doesn't die. So that's a very easy way to instantly get her, as long as you ensure he doesn't take too many hits. But as far as looking at her abilities here, Weapon Eroder, right? Piercing damage equal to 30% of target's max HP. It doesn't say max, but that's what it does. Attack down 2, which is both physical and magic.
Yeah.
And then Tranquilizer, look at this ability. Instant support skill, inflicts sleep on target for 2 turns. Absolutely busted. And then Burning Grenade, piercing damage equal to 10% of their HP to all enemies within a tile around the target. So it's a range of 3, so it can actually hit like 1, 2, 3, like 4 tiles away in a big old box, and it does burning for 2 tiles. I mean, and she's got other stuff, but she's got a healing kit, but like don't touch the healing kit. It's fine. You can get actual good stuff instead of these healing kits. Although,
and that's the great thing about the talent system. And this is why like everyone's like, what talents do I pick for this character? It's like my best recommendation is just read through it and pick something that you feel works. I do wish they had like a 7-day timer on talents that you could swap them for 7 days so you could test it and then it locks in. But I do actually like the finality of the decisions, but I do think there needs to be that period of grace for it.
I think it might be Abyss. There's a character I have like 6 talents in the first 3 levels. I'm just like, God, it's like I felt so bad because I hate the stupid system. Because I was like, I'm not gonna follow a guide. I'm just gonna do my thing. I think it's like Abyss. Like I got both of these. I got both of these because I was like, oh, this buffs Guzman. Then I was like, oh, Dark Ripple's literally absolutely broken.
Yep.
And this one, I'm like, okay, who? But then it's like I can't use Dark Ripple unless I have the regeneration. And so
there's 2 sort of builds you can go with. You can go with spamming that AoE one, which you need the energy regeneration, or you can go the pure debuffing one, and then you need the other tree. And that's the awkward thing. But I do like it. You can pick one, and then if you want to unlock the other one, cool. But I hate that you don't have that leeway to change your decision. But
and I almost took this because this also inflicts sleep, so I want this ability too. It's like Abyss is brutal on those spheres because I want them all, and then that's not even including legendary units.
Yep. How about you, Doctor? Have you got one that you want to go through? Yep, here we go.
Okay, so Papel Ice Priest.
Get into the priest.
Yes. Yeah. So last week 5-5 was a challenge for a lot of people until we figured out that we could push them all in the drink. So Papel Ice Priest, what's crazy about, and there's also a Dark Light Ice Priest that is very similar, but Papel has a push. Now, when you figure out finally that when you have ice on the ground, you can actually push people as far as the ice is, so 5 squares, whatever it is, it's pretty crazy. And she just has so many cool things where you got a single target slow, which is nice. Her passive, she puts defense up, so it makes her team a little bit tankier, very good for tower. She decreases AoE damage taken in an aura, so that enabled a lot of people to farm like the level 50 bosses, even though they're still in their level 30s. And of course, you got your damage reduction stuff. And then she has just like a big AoE. You can choose between that and the line. But essentially, she's putting up frost all over the place. So you can now come in with your Glory or whoever your push units are, lure them a certain way, and then just smash them down the cliff or whatever it is.
And the thing to note is when it says ice, it means it puts ice down on the field.
Yeah.
When I read those kits, because like on like day 1, people like check out the Ice Priest. I'm like, And they seem kind of mid because on the fire one, like on the fire attacks, it says puts down the flaming tile. And I'm like, wait, just having that ice in brackets means they're putting ice ground down. And then you look at, I chose the straight line one because I wanted the reach, but like this is the kind of character that I'll probably unlock multiple.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like the ice is just so powerful.
Yeah,
in this game.
it messes with movement, so they're limited on their movement. You set them up a certain way, and you know how it goes from there.
And you can also make them path around it. Like they will often avoid the ice if they can. And it's how you can sort of corral them into choke points that you want to get them in due to the ice. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people run.
Think about like manual PvP someday. You start laying all that ice down, people are going to be like, wait a sec. What are you doing? Like what? Do I step on? Do I want
Darklight Ice Priest here? This is one of the most broken units at level 35.
Dude, the freeze skill, what is it, 2-turn freeze?
Yeah, it's the top left one here. It gives movement -3. Like most units can't even move. If they already have movement down, then they become frozen for 2 turns, which is arguably worse if you're mostly a physical damage team. But there's a lot of units you give them move -3, and they're just like they just stand there like a big dummy.
So with these and the bandits that Per Platypus has been using a lot, I've seen entire teams with just the 2 bandits, the 2 ice priests, and maybe like Barrel or whoever's relevant for that tower. And people are just demolishing tower once they learn these strats now. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you just completely box out with those units. And like I said, the first one people started telling me about was the Papal Ice Priest. And I looked at that max skill on the Dark Priest. I'm like, yeah, this guy's got something cooking too. But the pushback is huge on the other one. Like the pushback is the big thing that he has that the other one doesn't have. But yeah, I think in general.
Also, PayPal Ice Priest is the highest speed in the game. He's at like 280 or something. He goes before everything.
Yeah, and speed does become very, very relevant in those in those towers because like you need to have the right speed tuning, like because it does eventually become a sort of you've got to hit the right obstacle first. It becomes like that true tactical type thing.
7-5 was a good example because you had a real fast Mytha that you need to trap right away. With the little ball.
Yes, and you put him on the right side, he runs up and knocks it, and then boxes are in. He's fantastic.
It doesn't say it in his traits or anywhere, but by having that 270 speed, it also allows you to use your tactical powers before anything else. Because there's nothing worse than there's like, I'm going to use March Order, I'm going to use Urgent Order, and then they just go first and they one-shot your unit. So you get to do this in the beginning. You could suddenly teleport your unit out of danger because some of these placements, you're within range of getting one-shot on the very first turn of combat. So
yeah, and absolutely. And even with some of them, like some maps, like I'll take like often I'm taking this one, but sometimes I'll take this one if there's a barrel. And sometimes if you're not using a fast enough unit, you can't blow up the barrel and like bring like 3 of them down to 20% HP. So that, yeah, having a fast unit is super handy for that type of stuff. I definitely agree.